So I just saw the movie Last Breath with Woody Harrelson, and I want to talk about it.
Welcome to Colonize the Ocean podcast, where we discuss oceanic colonization, exploration, and education with your hosts Adam Jewell and Brendan Traxler.
Okay, I went and saw Last Breath, the new movie with Woody Harrelson, based off of the true events of the diver. I believe it was, 15, 20 years ago or something along those lines. I should have looked that up. But anyway, based off the true events of a diver who, in the North Seas, they were working on a pipeline, I believe it was. Anyway, his umbilical, they're saturated 300 feet more or less, saturated underwater. Umbilical got caught, snapped, and he was left down there with only 10 minutes of spare oxygen to survive. Needless to say, because of the storm and the events, it took them 30 minutes to get to him. After, actually 40 minutes, because he was without oxygen for 30 minutes. Anyway, anybody who knows the story knows what happens. They rescued him, got him back. He lived with no side effects. Being without oxygen for 30 minutes, there's no reason he should have lived. And they say they have no idea why he survived. They assume maybe because of the depth and the cold because that deep and in the North Seas, they say they're about 2 degrees above freezing, so it's super cold. I also wonder if the saturation aspect of the thing had something to do with it, because his whole body had been saturated with the mixed I think it's helium and oxygen at that point in time, and what effect did that have to his body as well. So it's just like it's an unknown. Obviously something that it's hard to study without trying to kill people. But the movie itself, forget about the whole backstory and stuff like that. The movie itself was amazing. I sat there, I was squirming the whole time, even though I knew how the outcome was going to come. Definitely one for people who are fascinated with the ocean, enjoy diving, or just want to support stuff like this. It's definitely one to go see. I would love to go back and see it again in the theater. If it had been in 3D, it'd been even that much more impressive. But it's one of those where the chairs actually rocked and moved and stuff like that. 4D, I guess it is. So that added to, honestly, I didn't care one way or the other. I was there for the movie. But I will say this: outside the movie review aspect of the thing, I think that the interesting part of it is this could have been resolved. It could have been resolved with underwater habitats. And it's easy for us to say, well, if you just had an underwater habitat, and this is kind of what Cousteau was doing back with the conch shell programs, and other habitats have thought about too, is if you could have a habitat underwater for this type of stuff, you wouldn't rely on the surface support, which is what caused the whole problem. Because of the storm, the ship got pushed off position, very similar to what happened in the Abyss too. So, and that's what the Abyss the whole premise of the Abyss was there's a mobile underwater habitat pretty much for oil, for digging for oil or drilling for oil and stuff along those lines. So similar, it's a basically same concept as if we could have some sort of mobile or cost-effective underwater habitats you could place at these different hubs that may need repair every once in a while or maintenance. Would that not be a better option? Because then you're separated from the top side. You don't have to worry about what goes on up there if there is a storm or issue. And you've got a facility there instead of just a dive bell strung underneath of a ship 300 feet above you. So that's my thing. Obviously, it comes down to a cost thing. Obviously, the companies out there are out to optimize their profits, and putting underwater habitats in these different locations and the maintenance and stuff on them doesn't make sense yet. But that's kind of what ASC is working on. And what our focus is to get these things built and then get the cost down So that this could be a thing where we're able to save lives and we're able to make this part of work easier. They even mention in the thing, will the job be replaced in the future by robots or whatever? They don't say that, but that's what they're applying to. And that's a very possibility too, where you're not going to have to worry about it. Will a drone take care of it? Will a robot take care of it? The time will tell. Most likely, yes. But if that doesn't happen, do underwater habitats come in to be the thing to save the day type of thing? And I believe it totally could. Anyway, so if you haven't seen the movie, definitely go see the movie. Like I said, really cool, really good movie. This isn't my typical, I say this all the time, this is my typical short, whatever, typical podcast, whatever. But I thought that just coming off seeing that movie, I saw it last night, and just coming off seeing that movie, this would be a great one to put out there and talk about. So I think it's definitely another point that us who are working on our habitats can make. We've talked about the different things that an underwater habitat would be great for, whether it's underwater data centers, hotels, energy storage, etc. All these different things. If we're able to save lives or the quality of life in a work environment too, I mean, as long as it financially makes sense, I think we could have something here. But what do you guys think? Do you feel that the advent of robots, AI, all that type of stuff that's right on the cusp is going to be more cost effective, be able to do the job better and faster, not necessarily faster, but better than man, and bringing the price down on underwater habitats to the point where it makes sense? I'll make that make sense. But it's, I believe I have faith in you out there listening and watching this, that you get what I'm saying here. Sorry, I'm not explaining that the best. But anyway, that is my question for you for this week. Let me know.